Okay, we're joined today by the Chonk brothers. So welcome, Chris and George. Pretty excited to have you guys along today. And the first question I've got for you is, what is a chonk and how does one become a chonk?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go on.
Considering you're on the borderline of, he's actually under review at the moment. So, the Chonk brothers, to be honest, was started just to grow like Long Drive. It was just something to have a bit of fun and a platform for us to put our stuff on. But it's actually turned into something quite funny. But two official rules for the Chonk brothers: you got to be over 140 miles an hour club head speed, and you have to be over 100 kgs. Now, one of the Chonk brothers has been put under review, so the official weigh-in will take place soon, and yeah, we'll let probably the people make the decision on that one.
The Chonk brothers could turn to a singular. Chonk brother.
Apparently being shredded's a thing, so...
Well, just working in Europe wasn't good for me. Like summer, being surrounded by people that are actually athletic. Yeah, when I've got Chris, like, it's easy to fall into that Chonk lifestyle, but being away from him for 6 weeks was really detrimental to the program.
So what do you weigh in, Chris?
Are we airing our dirty laundry?
Yeah.
I'm about 106 this morning.
Yeah.
Maybe 106.5.
Yeah.
And I'm 96 at the moment.
Ooh.
So it's really bad.
What's your fighting weight?
Well, I have been 109, so I'm going to say that's my fighting weight.
Yeah.
So I'm a wee way off. I really need to turn this around.
Yeah, it feels like it's a long way off. Wish I could lose 13 kgs.
Maybe
I should go to Europe.
Have you had any applications to the Chonk brothers and anyone you've had to turn?
Actually, today we had Ryan Chisnell.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
He's definitely got the 100 kgs.
He was adamant that he should be included. He was like, "Look at me. He knows all the drills. He demonstrated them on the tee. He's like, look at all these positions. I know exactly how to swing the club. Not necessarily fast, but he's like, I know I can do it, and I fit the one of the requirements."
Did he think it was 114?
Yeah. Yeah. Missing
Club speed, Chizzy, yeah. He's got a little bit of work, but he can get there.
Oh, look, I don't think he can, actually. Frankly, I'm going to be honest. I think he'll struggle to get ball speed at 140.
No comment. He did beat you today.
No, I beat him.
Sorry, you beat him
Yes,
today.
you're welcome.
168? You?
I actually don't know.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was.
Someone told me. One of you two told me I beat Chizzy. So
yeah. Well, Chizzy came back for a second dig too because he was pretty determined to get past you.
Yeah. And he came back and he piped one and he turns around and he's like 164.6.
So should we talk about today? So we had the Karis Tauranga Open Pro-Am Day and you two set up on the 11th tee and had long drives all day. Unfortunately it was into the wind. So while it was extremely impressive, it could have been even better.
Yeah, so the wind did hurt us. Up the 11th, I think the longest drives from each of us were kind of 3:13 to 3:15. We were really hoping it was going to be downwind and we were wanting to try and get close to that green, but today it just wasn't on.
Yeah. So what were the records? What do we have today out of you two? So 3...
Club speed, ball speed,
3:13.
distance.
Yeah, there we go.
On course, I think we were both around...
Hold on. What do you mean on course?
Oh, we had the playoff, sorry. Would you like on course or playoff?
Oh, no.
Okay, so we had two parts today. So we had on course, ball speed, I think you were 203, I was 202. Distance, you were 3:15, I was 3:13. And then club speeds were late sort of 130s. And then we had the playoff, which was during prize giving. Ball speed, I think I was about 204, you might have been about 203. Distance wise, I was about 325 or something like that, and you were about 305, 310.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the W, but a little bit of contention, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's part of it.
I had the pleasure of knowing you both when you were young and skinny, and in your case, not particularly rapid. And I think that's impressive to see what you were fast as a young kid, right? Like genetically, you always swung it fast, and not like you do now, but
Yeah.
relatively fast. But you weren't massively fast, George. You were probably average.
Correct, yeah. So I think the thing for me, I started my long drive journey a fraction before Chris, and he probably got sick of me nagging him for about 3 years to come and join me because I felt like his genetic potential and starting point was far ahead of what mine was. But for me, when I was here in Tauranga and you had the pleasure of coaching me, I was around that 112 to 114 club head
What did you weigh in
speed.
that then? Because you certainly weren't a chomp runner.
Yeah, I was not. I was probably in that early 80s range.
Were you?
Yeah.
What so?
Yeah.
Are you running a medium shirt at that range, or what do we think?
No, I was strictly large. I've always kind of been on the baggy side.
Really?
Yeah.
What did
yeah.
you get up to at your peak, shirt wise?
Shirt wise?
Work one you
4XL.
went at 4XL.
Yeah, yeah. So let's ignore that. We'll go back to where we were.
Yeah.
So
4XL.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you get that on the shelf in normal shops? Was that special orders?
Special shops have those. Yeah.
Johnny Biggs, here we come. So yeah, when I was here playing golf, that 112, 114, and I think my best ball speed was like 174. And I was challenged at my workplace to learn how to increase rotational power and what was the most applicable way for me to test that was to do golf. So that's how I stumbled into long drive. It wasn't because I was a long driver. I was very far from that. It was like, you're not very good at this. You're kind of average, but you could be better. Why don't you play around and see what that looks like? And within the first 8 weeks, I went from 114 to 136 club head speed.
Within what?
Within 8 weeks.
Holy hooker.
And it's really funny.
Shows you where you can get to in 8
Yeah.
weeks.
And it's
Do you
funny.
reckon I could?
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. You've always been
Yeah.
114 to 136.
Yeah.
Hold on, back up.
So JD's quickest is 111.
I was 114.
You're 114 today. That's
Oh,
yeah,
pretty big deal.
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Christmas.
Yeah, so
They
by
do have a
Christmas,
Masters division and a
Okay.
Granddad division.
I could be 136 in 8 weeks.
Well, I think part of it for me was I had never really pushed speed before. So when I played, I was playing with the package I had, and I'd never tried to extend the box that I actually had. Because I was like, well, 114 is what I need. I can be really efficient at that. I can do what I need on course with that. In hindsight, knowing that I probably had a little bit of juice that I was leaving on the table was a little bit demoralising, because that could have changed how I played golf, knowing that I could swing at, let's say, 125. But I think I had the strength abilities to make that shift. I just never really tried it. And so when I first started training long drive, I remember the first session I was like, I'm going to hit 10 balls as hard as I can. And I was absolutely knackered. I was like, oh, this is brutal. Like, I don't know how some guys hit 50 balls. Like, hitting 10 is way too hard. And I did that for a couple of weeks. And then I progressed to 12 balls, and then to 14, 16. And then by that 8 week mark, I was kind of hitting 20 balls as hard as possible. And I managed to make that jump from 114 to 136. And then from there, it's been a lot harder. You make that initial shift, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm okay at this. And then it's like, now the hard work begins.
So what's your fastest now? Club speed?
160.
160?
Yeah. But from
How far did the ball go?
not that far. Not that far. It was reckless in terms of my aim in that session was to try and get to 160. I had no regard on where the ball went, and sometimes to shift the ceiling, you need to just have reckless abandonment and just go for it. It doesn't always look pretty. That initial 20 miles happened in 8 weeks. The next 20 miles to get from 136 to 156, it's taken another 4 years. So every mile gets harder and harder.
So from 114 to 136, 114 is your golf swing,
Yes.
and 136 is your long drive swing.
Mm-hmm.
After those 8 weeks, what do you reckon your golf swing would have been? Like, to go out, if you went, actually I might give competitive golf a go again, what do you reckon you would have come back to?
I didn't make a lot of technical changes to get to 136.
Right.
So I think I would have been able to play on course with 125 quite comfortably, and know that I could have pushed up towards 130 if I wanted to give it a little nudge. So I think that's the cool thing about it, is understanding that, like, if you raise that ceiling, your floor or your norm is going to shift with it. And that's why I tried to get Chris involved, because Chris already swung it at 125 to 130 when he was playing. So my initial expectation was, if he starts doing long drive, he's going to make a jump too, which you did.
Yeah, what was your journey?
Well, I only started at the end of last year, so July last year, I think. I was probably mid 120s, like starting golf wise, and then I got to about 130, probably that similar mark, like 136 to 138, within about probably close to 8 weeks as well. And then since then, it's been a bit harder. Like, as soon as I think you can sort of get to the between 136 to 140 mark relatively, like through changing of swing, a little bit of like biomechanical changes. But then the next part, getting to, like, my max is 149, which is really frustrating. It's sort of want to break through that next barrier. But that journey's taken better part of a year now, with Craig, our coach based in Australia. It's tough. It's really tough. But I've had a lot of technical changes. It's been a big difference from me. Had a lot of bad habits to get rid of as well.
What sort of things are you talking about when you say bad habits?
I think probably, like, the biggest change for me is more been focusing around how the body moves as opposed to where the club is in the swing. Like, so what does the body need to do in terms of, like, a pattern shift, or different, like, where to put the emphasis into the swing as well. Like, it's hard because you just sort of, like, want to rip it back as fast as you can, but there's a timing, momentum part of it as well. So I'm still learning that now, in terms of, like, when I want to increase from, let's say, like 140 to 142 and try break up to 148, 149, where in the swing do I put the emphasis into it? And then, yeah, it's been a journey trying to understand that. But the biggest part has been it's less around where the club is, and it's more for me trying to get the body moving the way I want it to go, and the club will naturally sort of fall into those slots, hopefully, as I do that.
Those slots are not typical slots that you would find on the PGA Tour. Yeah. And I was lucky enough to see you hit some balls the other day, and you were talking about some extraordinary numbers that if someone came to us for coaching, Jay, we would be pulling our hair out. So can you talk about, not necessarily some of our targets, but you were going through some drills to see where you were at. So for the data nerds, what are sort of some numbers that you like to see?
So one of the things that we have learned, thanks to Craig, is as we start increasing speed and we start pushing, the tendency is you start coming over the top a little bit more, and you start hitting, a negative path, or straightening the path out. So we go the opposite end of the spectrum, and we try to have quite an aggressive inside path when we do drills, and quite a high attack angle, understanding that as we try and get faster within a session, we'll come over the top, and that will neutralise. So Chris is much better at this than me, but the aim is to have angle of attack and path over 20. So if your angle of attack is 12 up, then your path has to be 8 inside, which is outrageous, because if you leave the face open on that, it starts right and it goes a long way right.
That was not a segue, by the way.
So this ball here, for those that have played Tauranga Golf Club, the 11th tee is where we had the long drive today. This ball...
So let's explain. So 11th hole, there's out of bounds... That doesn't sound great. There's out of bounds on your left-hand side.
Yeah.
There's a practice fairway on the right, and there's the 18th. So you see some players play out way to the 18th.
Yeah.
Most people kind of hit it into the practice fairway. It's typical for people to hit it right.
Yeah.
So just a bit of context.
Yeah, a bit of context. But anyway, no, all I was saying was, because I saw you get 11.1 up today in the competition, in terms of attack angle. But this ball found its way into the clubhouse, which I Googled, and that is 148 metres right of the middle of the fairway. What
Thanks.
sort of... yeah, but
just to clarify that, it landed on the roof. So if it had missed the clubhouse, it would have continued further right.
further right.
So
Well,
it might have cracked 150.
Yeah.
yeah, well, maybe that could be a Chonk brother prerequisite. Because how far right can you hit it? I reckon I could hit it that far right on the angle. I just couldn't hit it that far. Like, I reckon I would have hit the clubhouse too if I had another 50 mile.
As we're sort of talking at pricing, maybe at pricing, like when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong. Like
faster you go, the bigger the mess.
yeah, and like it's in a pro-am setting today. Like we hit some really good balls and some like nukes straight down the middle, and then that particular ball, swing it back, and it was one of those moments where you're like, oh no.
Oh, I have that moment,
Oh
Chris.
no! And I got across the line, and I left the face open, and it's one of those ones you swing it back. And I was in Josh Geary's company. I think it was Josh Geary's group, and I was a little bit nervous because he's a great human and great golfer. Left the face open.
Did you just listen?
We did. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and it went bang, and the group on the 10th green just looked over, and then
Mangoes come down from inside the clubhouse. It's like one of you.
Tournament director.
Yes.
tournament director.
I was just telling everyone in the clubhouse that would have been one of you two, so I came down to confirm.
And yeah,
We also had a quick look because I was on the tee while you were warming up, and one of them went left. So I took a little prediction, and we measured on Google Earth what the dispersion may have been. So typical tour dispersion is about 60
meters.
60
yeah.
meters. 267 meters between the one that went left and the one that went right.
Which I can't even hit at 260 meters.
we actually we did have a laugh on the tee block, and I said if we lasered the left ball and the right ball today, I reckon there's a golf hole in between.
But the interesting thing, if we do go back to the numbers, I don't know what your swing plane numbers are, but roughly for a driver, for every degree up that you hit it, it's going to push your path a degree left. So for you to hit 11 up and have a path of 9 right, holy shit, your swing direction is unreal. I was just doing the maths in my head going, oh, that has to hurt your body.
Yeah, the body definitely takes a beating. Like
Yeah.
the hardest, one of the hard ones is actually like, so typically in training, like you're probably about 10 angle of attack, and I get it up to about 14, 15. Is that the tee has to go so high because there's a couple of great videos of me smoking the mats and
Sparks flying.
Sparks
all sorts.
flying. But it's the back does get a beating, and I think that's probably what you talked about before with the balls. Like you have to condition your body. Like when I first started, we were hitting 30 balls in a speed session, and I was like absolutely cooked. Like I wouldn't be able to like tie my shoelaces in the morning. Shout out to Kendra, she did that a few times for me. But the more you do it and the more volume, and that's one thing we've both done in the off season is just try build the volume to sometimes near 500 swings a week. Not full volume, but like maybe at 90%.
Yeah.
And it just allows the body to, I guess, condition to that. But yeah, it's not easy. The back's often quite tight.
So how many balls would you hit a week on a normal training week?
About 400, I would say.
And that's at 400 with the driver.
So 400 would be made all with driver. You'd probably have around 250 to 300 drill swings, which could typically be anywhere between 60 to 95% speed.
Yeah.
And then we'll normally run 2 speed sessions a week, and you can look anywhere between 40 to 80 balls depending on what, like how much. Like we did a session on Monday night, and I think we both hit about 50 balls each. We capped it there because we've got another one on Monday, and we'll probably hit 60 to 70 each. So yeah, 120 at around full pace, and probably 250 to 280 at drill speed.
Sometimes when you're within one of those speed sessions and you can feel like you're right on the verge of a breakthrough, and so you end up just continuously going like, oh no, just another one. And there's been a few times where Chris is just like, you just keep saying this. You've said just another one for like 40 balls now. Like, when are you just going to do it? And so, like, I've had a couple of speed sessions up around 150 balls, which is great if you hit that many and you accomplish your goal, but you have to understand that, like, that's going to write you off for 4, 5, 6 days, and then it compromises what your training looks like for those next 4 or 5 or 6 days. So sometimes getting greedy is beneficial in the moment, but you have to realise like this is going to have consequences that comes with it.
Jesus. And so you're doing gym work as well? I'm sure it's not just all beating balls.
No.
Based on the fact that you're both chonky. Except for you pussy.
So
He's not. We've clarified. If I pulled his top up, there's probably a 6-pack under there.
cut it out. So
Fine, pull it up.
I was kidding.
So the gym stuff, we run a monthly periodization, so it's kind of a little bit complicated, but to make it really simple, we front load the month with a lot of the heavy lifts, and so we'll do 5 sessions the first couple of weeks of a month and get our grunt work in then, and then the back end of the month we'll do either 4 or 3 sessions, and that allows us more opportunities to hit more balls and feel a bit fresher to try and express the shifts that we've made. Now, you can do it a different way where it's like you might do a month or 2 months of really heavy stuff and then have a month or 2 months of really light stuff, but we choose to do it this way because we like having a moment each month where our bodies actually feel quite good and we can see what we're capable of and we monitor that.
If Jay and I were going to go on an 8-week journey and try to increase our...
Why'd you look at me and laugh?
No comment.
How would you recommend we went about it if our only focus was to increase club head speed?
Hitting balls. Hitting balls
Gym
is number
work,
one.
or is it
Like the gym work, in my mind, I'm keen to hear your opinion. That's all about allowing your body to maintain its status and not build resilience and not get hurt. That's where the gym work comes into play. You can have expressions of speed in the gym as well, but those, in my opinion, are monitors of what the body's capable of. To actually shift club head speed, you're going to have to shift a club head. And the one thing with golf is, like a driver's never getting any heavier. You've just got to learn how to shift it faster. And that's where beating balls comes into play. And it's literally like, it might be you head to the range and you hit balls and at the end of it you're like, right, I'm going to hit 6 as hard as I can and just see what the best one is. And then that might build up to your ability to be like, I can hit 12 as hard as possible. And if you're around that 20 balls in a session and your body can tolerate it, you'll make some really good shifts, especially in 8 weeks. Like if you're hitting 20 balls twice a week for 8 weeks, guaranteed that you'll make an improvement.
So neither of our listeners are golfers, which is a real shame for you two. But if there was a golfer listening to this, obviously they can buy the Chonk training program off you guys. So that can be done remotely over 8 weeks, and they may have a goal which is not exclusively long drive because they still want to play golf. But if my goal was to say, like I'm about 105 probably.
114.
Yeah, that was today when I just wanted to be Kazuma. But if I'm playing, I'm probably 105. Yeah. If I did your 8-week program remotely with the advice and the training plans that you guys have given me, what would you expect in 8 weeks? What sort of percentage would I expect and still be able to, play like...
Have control.
Have control, yeah.
So I think the cool thing about it is if you're only hitting between 6 and 20 balls, you're not doing enough damage to your actual swing because it's not overriding the practice that you would be doing otherwise. So I don't think that hurts your technical model. It's just how far can you raise the ceiling to then make your norm shift with it. And I'd like to think in 8 weeks, if you're not shifting between 3 and 5 miles an hour club head speed, then you haven't tried hard enough. And that's all what it comes down to. Is
and that's within the same swing pattern that you've been using.
Within the same swing pattern. And I think that's the biggest piece is you've got to be prepared to get a little bit uncomfortable and understand like, oh, I might hit this one 5 metres offline because I'm trying to hit it a bit harder. And that's totally fine.
I'd love to hit it 5 metres offline.
You should have watched Kazuma today.
Yeah, I know.
He had a couple 6 metres offline. It was atrocious.
Well, that was last year at the PGA. Mackie was freaking out. But so that's cool. I like to think that most people, anyone could reach out to you guys via Instagram and get the program, and they can increase. And we know the potential we know the impact that has on your scoring.
I think the biggest thing you've seen, like a shift even on the PGA Tour, is a lot of them are trying to push up to like even 190 ball speed on course. And like the coolest thing we've both probably seen is like even the guys that we play with, like them trying to increase their speeds to like 185, 190 and push those things out. like it's wicked. Like I think long drive's one sport, but it's also like being able to increase club head speed for an average golfer makes a huge difference. And I mean, you'll know the stats, like the closer you are to the hole, the lower the score you're going to get. So if you can do that, I think what George said, just get a little bit ugly sometimes and try raise that ceiling, you can make such a big difference on your golf game. Like I think we're probably both playing a lot better now because we're more comfortable with the driver, so we're happy hitting it everywhere, but we're also closer to the hole a lot of the time, which helps our scoring average. So our putting's atrocious, but that's a whole different story in itself.
I've still got magic hands with chipping though, so I get away with it.
I thought after you chip, people used to sing Elton John's Rocket Hands.
Oh no, I used to sing that to myself. Every time I hit one just a little thin and it's firing across the green,
We went out and played Rangatira golf club the other day. I reckon you had, I don't know if the video's come out yet, quad, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, birdie, birdie possibly.
Shit.
Didn't make a par.
No, not a par.
But it was either like humongous off the tee and next to the green or out of town. But like that's the difference a golf game can make. Like you make a lot more birdies, you do make a lot more bogeys as well. But it's just like, it's fun.
It is fun. Like I think we both enjoy golf a lot more because we're not necessarily attached to scoring. It's just like let's hit it down there and then we'll just chase it. And sometimes you hit it down there 3 fairways wide, but you're chasing it anyway and you're having a good time. So
like that ball that I've hit on the clubhouse here, like that's still in bounds there. That ball.
That is
like that's a flick 9-iron into that green.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all gravy.
And Brad Kendall's famous quote is, "There's a whole golf course to the right."
So you're both competent golfers, obviously. Both represented not only your own provinces, but other provinces as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your golfing journey and maybe why that didn't necessarily pan out the way you once hoped it did and how it turned into long drive?
Yeah, so I played a lot of golf down south and I loved it. The tournament golf and the boys used to travel with were absolutely fantastic, and I think that was the reason I truly loved golf, was like going away every weekend with the boys to Central Otago and playing was really special and something I always look back fondly on. I would have loved to have scored better, but a lot of that was my own doing, where I'd sometimes get in my own way, and also knowing that I had a little bit more horsepower that could have helped with my scoring is something that would have been beneficial back then too. Then as you get a little bit older and you start to realise like, if I really want to make it at golf, I've got to be training 25 hours or more. That's the reality of the professional game, and if you're not doing that, I feel like you're not giving yourself the opportunity to actually become a touring professional. And trying to balance my work with high performance sport and my study while trying to potentially play 25 hours of golf a week was just not going to stack up. And that's why I kind of went down the working route. Still love the game, and then when work challenged me to do the long drive as a PD, it became an opportunity for me to still be attached to the game while helping my work and also having a bit of a fun passion project.
I grew up under you. So me and Jay, we were a great team back in the day. No, I grew up in Bay Plenty, so I represented Bay Plenty and worked under Jay for a few years. And eventually went over the hill to uni to Waikato, the mighty Waikato, and played a few years with the Waikato region.
What did you study at uni? Sports science?
I did business and sports, so I did both. And yeah, I think, to be honest, like, I love your podcast at the moment because I think there was a lot, like, it resonated a lot to like my issues with golf, which was I don't think I ever quite got over the mental side of letting go of the score. It's quite fascinating thinking about it like now, but I just, to be honest, I wasn't good enough. Like, that was why I sort of quit, and same with George, went down the business route and the work route. But yeah, I think through the time my big downfall was not letting go of par. And it was fascinating. Like, if I was ever 2 or 3 under in a tournament, I always just drift back to like 1 or 2 over, 1 under or square. And if I was ever like 3 or 4 over, I always fought my way back to 1 over or something. But that, and the performance side that you talk a lot about with how you train and stuff, I just don't quite feel like I quite got over that hump. So I think that was a big sort of like downfall for me and wanting to progress to the professional game, which is something that I'm super passionate about and love what you're doing in your space with trying to get people to understand the performance mindset as well.
It is a funny one. Like Thorpe challenged me to sort of, I guess, put measures on what people have done.
Yeah.
But you can have a guy that can tick every box, but doesn't necessarily perform, and then a guy that hardly ticks any boxes. But on today playing, like I still can't get out of my own way. Like it's phenomenal, the mindset stuff.
But you've also shot 60 around this golf course.
Yeah.
And you found a way to get out of your own way that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you reflect on that, that's the circumstances of that day were very different to today, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think as well, like DG challenged me to shoot. I've probably told you guys that story, but challenged me to play in a Karis and shoot 84 and miss the cut. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, I can't. I can't do that. I'll care about what other people think. And he's like, that's why you never made it. And like straight in the eye, and you kind of go, I mean, I wasn't good enough, 100%. There's that, the top players, especially nowadays in the level, like it was easier when I was younger. But,
so good.
That mindset shift, but that must be the same for you guys with long drive.
Yeah, I think...
Because getting it on the grid isn't as fucking easy as...
Well, the one thing that I think about is like, there's 2 ways to go. If you've hit 5 balls out of bounds, on the 6th ball, so for those that don't know, you hit 6 balls, you got 2.5 minutes.
What is the width?
It can vary.
It's not a standardised.
It can vary between some of the narrowest points of some grids are like 35 yards.
Oh, whoa.
And some of them get up to like 55, 60 yards.
Is that it?
Yeah. That is
60 big?
60's big.
Yeah.
60's big, yeah.
And I think the thing that I always think about, and coming from the golf mindset, it's a lot easier because it's 2.5 minutes and I just have to be in the right mentality. But it's, if you're hitting 5 balls out of bounds, what am I doing on the 6th one? Am I trying to lay back and am I just trying to get one in? Or am I letting go and just trying to swing it as hard as I can? Obviously, there's a technical element to it as well, but it's a little bit easier to be more aggressive in that sport. But as we both know, a lot of competitions also reward balls in play, like some grids are quite tight. So if you get a ball in play, like a reasonable ball, then you're going to be one step ahead and put some pressure on the guy next to you hitting as well. So the mentality is like, it's tough. Like you just got to make sure that you go out there with a game plan and you know what you're trying to do, whether it's you're going to change shafts halfway through, whether it's what's the wind doing, what's the track doing, and I take a lot from probably what Justin James talks a lot about, which is like spin rates, elevation, what's the flight doing, what's the wind doing, and then from there it's like, what am I trying to execute, and then just going in and like, this is what I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to hit this launch left to right on the grid because that's optimized for here. I'm trying to land it at 390 yards, whatever that is, and then you're just like really narrow focused on that.
Do you see Do you see launch angle numbers when you're competing?
No. Some events have live stream, and if you've got a support team there, then
are they allowed to tell you?
They're allowed to tell you. So that's helpful. So Worlds last year, as an example, there's club ball, some launch characteristic stuff that the boys can relay to you, which is super helpful. The biggest thing about long drive and why I think it's quite cool is conditions vary everything. So if we think of last year, there was an event that you hit at 360 and your meters and you're kind of squeezing into the top 8. And then there's another event where you're hitting at 270 and it might be the longest drive of the day, which is you've got a 90 meter variance, and you'll know it's 7 days apart. You're no faster or slower than you were 7 days prior. It's just all condition dependent. And some people find it upsetting on social media where it's just like, oh, I can hit at 270, I would have won that event.
Actually,
which is how I used to think about when you played.
Exactly. Exactly. But my argument is just like, yeah, you could have. You should come out. Because like that's the thing I actually do like about long drive is the events where people don't hit it far because the conditions are tough. I think are the most important ones because they're the ones that are going to actually encourage people to come and try.
Correct, yeah.
The ones where you go and it's just like, oh man, 12 guys hit it over 400 yards, like I'd never do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that doesn't help the sport get any bigger. So I kind of think that the crappy weather events are actually really good.
My first and last long drive competition with George, we went out to Papamoa, wide open space. They could choose this end or that end, and they chose the one straight into the wind. Sam Jones won that event. I think he hit it 242 metres. There were about maybe 5 or 6 guys that hit it over 200 metres. I crushed one, 198, and that was the last time I ever entered a long drive contest.
You'd be good though, because you're athletic. He's a fast bowler and naturally fast. Good vertical jump.
You've got the hair for it.
Got the hair for it. He has had the beard for it.
Kyle Berkshire 2.0.
8 weeks, I get a beard going.
Your biggest challenge would be 100 kgs, I reckon.
I can give you my diet plan.
Well, I went to Wellington. I was in Wellington with him last week for 4 days. Came back 2 kilos heavier. So the diet plan does work.
Good.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I was with my partner for a couple of days and I reckon she might have stuck to my diet too.
Oh, whoa.
Cut
do
that.
So should we talk about that? So you now moved down to Wellington. Tell us a little bit about the
Cut that too.
I'm just worried. First time I've done it this way, I'm worried that it's like going to cut off. I'll record it. So you just moved to Wellington. Tell us a bit about that.
So I just moved. Well, I haven't moved down. I'm sort of back and forth. I claim I'm still living in Hamilton, but no, we just moved down for a new project. Agni and I, and a few other shareholders as well, just started a new business down there called Social Project, and just designed around like all of the elements of, I guess, health and wellness. So we've got like our group training studio. We've got our wellness reformer, yoga, mat Pilates studio. Open gym floor, cafe, recovery with saunas and ice baths, and sort of put all of that under one roof, which is like a lot of people want the yoga side, they want the reformer side, they want the training, they want the trainers, but they have to go to different places for it. So we've managed to bring everything under one roof and make it an affordable price, the same as, you know, like a BFT or an F45. And we opened our first facility a couple of months ago, and it's been really popular. It's been awesome. And we got our second Wellington site opening starting next year, and looking around at some other sites as well around the country. So
yeah, why Wellington, mate?
It's a popular place. To be fair, like it was just somewhere that we felt like was a relatively untapped market. And yeah, we thought there was a bit of an opening down there, and we're in a couple of different ends of the city. We're in the hub of the city, and then we're also out in Porirua. So like sort of two different ends, and we've managed to be really successful out in Porirua and hopefully Wellington CBD as well, which is I think it's really cool for the brand and shows that we can do some different things in different size spaces and different areas. And then moving forward, we've got some really cool plans of what we want to do. So I'll keep a lid on it for now, but hopefully some more stuff will come out in the next few weeks. And it's been an awesome journey for all of us involved, and it's been fun. It's been super fun.
It's massive now, that whole holistic type of way of looking at health and well-being and fitness.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the recovery side's a really big thing. I think the balance of training as well, like a lot of people don't just want to do just gym or just group training because it's always like high intensity all the time. So we've tried to change it up so that, you know, you can get everything you need under one roof, and also like if you're getting bored of the group training or the gym side of things, you can actually go and do some other stuff as well. And like personally, I've always wanted to do reformer and yoga, but I've never, I guess, gone out and seek those things, and even through like starting down there, I've managed to get some exposure to it and try some different things, and it's been really cool for my own training as well. And the coffee's great, so lots of short blacks.
Do you have coffee in the?
Yeah, so we have a little cafe in there as well. So we got Supreme coffee down there, and George was on the short blacks, similar to you actually. And it was great. So it's an awesome space, and hopefully get some golf stuff involved with it moving forward, but we'll see how we go.
It looks cool. I think
It's
have I
fun.
seen it online? Did you share
Yeah,
it with me or something?
it's fantastic. I
What's
was
it
really
working?
impressed with seeing people come in the mornings and smash a class and then be like, oh, I'll see you this afternoon, I'm coming back to do yoga, or I'm coming back to have a sauna.
Yeah.
And seeing people like being fully invested in their well-being, that they're like, this facility's got everything I want under one roof, I'm going to use it multiple times in a day. It's like,
Some people are there for 3 or 4 hours in a day, and it's
Yeah.
awesome to see. Like, and I think the biggest thing for us is it's not necessarily around like how many members can we have or any of that sort of stuff. Like, we're genuinely focus on. We've had a lot of members come and sign up that have never done any training or haven't done it for a number of years, and for us, it's around trying to get as many people involved with fitness and wellness as we can. And it's been really cool because a lot of people have really loved the, I guess it's the atmosphere and what we've got to offer. And a lot of people have said like, hey, look, I haven't trained for 20 years and I just love the space, and they're now there every day. So that's been the really cool thing. A lot of other gyms around can be really busy and it can deter people a lot from wanting to go. So it's been really cool from that perspective. But yeah, some people are there upwards of 5 hours a day. So yeah, you got to make sure we feed them coffee, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
as well.
but it, like, that completely alters the community that's there. Because if people are that invested in their well-being and they're surrounded by other people that invest in their well-being, that's what I was most impressed about last week, is like they're all interacting with one another, they're all sharing ambitions and goals and what they're trying to achieve, and creates a really cool place.
We've had some people lose over, like, in the first couple of months, like over 15 kgs. So it's been life-changing for them already, which is really cool. And yeah, it's been awesome.
Very cool.
Found their way out of the Chonk brothers.
Wow, we do have an unreal smoothie bar down there, and the Biscoff smoothie. For anyone in Wellington, come try out the Banoffee Biscoff. I think that's probably where a couple of those kgs went to. It's great. It's yummy.
Anyone on Tauranga in the future?
That is the plan, 100%. So on our website, we're advertising that we are coming to Tauranga at some point. I think we don't have a specific timeline on it, but we would 100% love to come over there. So this is where I grew up, so for me it would be an awesome place to have a social project. And
Why is it called the Social Project?
a couple of reasons. So we actually went back and forth for a name for about 3 months. We wanted to come up with a name that didn't dictate that it's a gym, I think. And obviously, so the social project is based off like 4 sort of key pillars, and you've got the group training community, you've got the wellness community, you've got the recovery community, and then we've got like our general community, which is around like the cafe space. We've got a kids zone, mums and bubs classes, like a lot of that sort of stuff as well. And the biggest thing for us was around like we wanted something that I guess sort of like portrayed the community side of what we're trying to do and the social aspect. So yeah, that's sort of that part. But coming to Tauranga, like from a business standpoint, it's really tricky finding commercial space over here. Any business people out there will know like commercial land for specific requirements that we're after is really tough. So we're on the lookout 100%, and we're really keen to bring it to the Tauranga community or the Mount 100%.
Cool. Got a couple of questions from Instagram. Put out some questions, and some of them have come through. So they shouldn't take long to answer. One's actually from Reese Thomas, who you have affectionately named the Slim Reaper.
Yes, yes. We have a group chat with Reese, and he's kind of part of the inspiration behind us becoming the Chonk Brothers, because when he first created the group chat, he named it Reese's Chonky Cheerleaders. And that's where the Chonk Brothers were born from.
So I think he feels a bit left out that he's not a Chonk brother. He's probably 70 kgs dripping wet. Is he the quickest pound for pound that you've come across?
Oh.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. He's quick. Reece,
I don't know.
Just to clarify, he was on course, 1 ball, 184.
184 ball speed, and
today.
he weighs about 70 kilos.
Yeah.
It's
So
fast.
yeah,
I'm going to throw an old school name, like 10 years ago for me. Tycho was impressively fast back in the day. Obviously still is. Taco Golf.
Yes, and little.
And, well, not little, that's a bit tough.
Is it?
He's strong.
Short and not very big.
He flexes his biceps a lot, so that's where his clubhead speed comes from.
But I like Taco would be pretty up there.
Yeah.
Would be my money. But like I said, Reese, like you said, Reese 184 on course today. He'd be up there, 100%.
A little bit wider would be Jamie Solowski.
Yeah, that was my initial
How
inspiration.
Tyler Wood's not tanked with weight, is he?
Yeah, well,
He's pretty
Tyler would be low mid 80s, and he was 131 on course today, so fast. But
not
Jamie
much bigger than Reese, is he? On compared
Yeah.
to Reese, not
Yeah,
Jamie.
Tyler went 200 ball speed at Brisbane PGA last year. Tyler jumped in the long drive contest and went 200 ball speed with his normal driver. So he'd definitely be up there too.
So he's not mucking around. But Jamie Solowski was 85 kilos and 215 ball speed,
He was my original hero.
Yeah.
Jamie said that.
He was
Did
sensational.
Reese ask that question?
That may have came from the username is @SlimReaper.
So he really just wanted you to reaffirm that he is pound for pound.
I am the greatest.
Jason Gurley-Sakaram could have been up there. Eh?
Brad Kendall?
Brad Kendall, yes, and not so much now. He's probably qualifies for the Chonk brother.
We'll get him a shirt, send it out to him. He'll represent the brand well.
Yeah.
Couple of questions here for Chris. Have you dyed your hair to hide the greys?
No, but I am rocking some highlights in my hair currently. Some grey highlights. Yeah, it's not good. I actually was going grey when I was about 18. It's been a tough journey, but yeah, no. I can safely say you've got greys in your beard.
I know.
I can safely say I actually have once dyed my hair. There's a picture of me and Lydia Ko when I went to Singapore and I had blonde. Actually, yes. Can we go back a second here? I was down in the changing rooms this morning.
Yeah, I've got the.
So just for the viewers, I was me and Kazuma down in the changing rooms at Tauranga Golf Club this morning, and I was looking at some of the old memorabilia in there, and maybe 2008,
I think it was.
Blonde tips.
Blonde tips.
What? Okay, can you just talk me through the mindset?
Well, it's a long time ago. I really don't know.
What went through the mind when you bought the hair dye?
Did you?
I didn't do it.
Did you start the trend
I
for
paid
Justin
for someone.
Timberlake, or was it the other way around?
Look, we all have weak moments, don't we?
Did you do it in a hotel, or how did it
No, I
come about?
paid for that.
You paid for that?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much?
It was pretty good.
How much?
I don't know. How much do you pay for a year? Yeah. How did this come on me? Fucking he's the one with highlights.
The beautiful thing is this is a video podcast. I can
Yeah.
go and take a photo of that soon. And we'll
Oh,
show
Kazuma's
it.
already sent me the
Sure,
photo
I'll
of
just-
it.
100%. I took
I
a
gotta
photo
ask
too.
a
I can
question.
give it to you after. I was going to send it through later. Just ask what happened.
Do you know the reality is though, you three can all get fucked because I reckon there's more shit on you three than there is on me out there. So start, especially you.
Ginger,
Jim.
Another one here for Chris. Is it true that you were too heavy to play rugby as a kid, and that's why you played golf?
That can't be true. You were slim.
No, where's that question coming? This was what I talked about yesterday. Yeah, a bit of a demoralising story. In I think it was year 5. Good mate, one of my best mates, Aidan Ross, got me into rugby. Him and his old man.
Were you bigger than him?
Yeah, it was. That's a whole different topic. He blew up. But year 5 rugby, the weight cutoff was 49 kgs, and I was 53 kgs, I believe, and I really wanted to play in the sevens comp. So I didn't eat for 2 days. And turned up in the morning.
Good behaviour. Good behaviour.
Good behaviour. I was 40. I think I turned up at like 49.2 on the scales, which is like back in the old I don't know what you call them, like the tipping scales. Like it's not like just an electric one. And then so I had to go toilet, and then I think I weighed in naked with a towel around me just to scrape in like 48.9 kgs. So shout out Otamurai Primary, they got me through that one. Scarred me for life.
Yeah,
apparently someone knows about it. So.
Now we know where the social project came from.
He's really bounced back from it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do some quick fire questions? For
Good.
Yeah, do you want to... Have you got any lined up?
None.
Okay, I've got one. What do you ever think?
Organised.
Organised.
For
Good to
both
see our
of you,
time's worth nothing.
what age would Tiger Woods need to be for you to beat him?
3.
Yeah,
Maybe 5.
I'm going to go 7.
Mm.
Yeah. A long track. Like the longer the
Has to be a
better.
long
Yeah,
course.
yeah. We're not playing off 4 tees.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that you're 7. You're playing off the
He's
backs.
playing off the same team.
Can we reshape your question? What are you playing off? Give the viewers some understanding. How many strokes would you be asking for right now?
Like from you or from Tiger?
From a scratch handicapper.
Well, technically, I am a scratch handicapper, but I do only play 2 rounds a year. So a lot of that scratch handicap's probably from 7 years ago when I was actually playing golf. But I played 2 rounds. I played 2 rounds this year, and I shoot 69 and 70.
Yeah. Smoke Tiger as a 7-year-old.
So no, but then I've gone into hiatus for the rest of the year, and so I'll probably play 2 rounds again next year.
I had the pleasure of watching you both compete in Australia last year, and there was music and fireworks, and it was cool. It was a cool show. If you don't have a walkout song at the moment, what would it be? What would your walkout song be?
I'd have to have some Kanye West, I think. Yeah.
I don't actually know.
Like Stronger or something like that. Just
Can you sing? I don't actually know what it goes.
I'm not singing, but no, just
Okay.
something that's little tie back. I did an event in Taranaki with Sammy Jones maybe 3 years ago, and Sammy was in charge of music, so he was picking songs for everybody, which was fantastic. But one of the sets for me, he's like, I'm going to get you so fizzed, you're going to hit this so hard. And I was just like, way too excited. And I couldn't find the middle of the club face to save myself. Oh, so fast.
What was the song?
But it was one of Sammy's like D&B mixes with David Attenborough in it, which got me extremely excited hearing David Attenborough come across the speakers. I was like, I have to hit it hard for David. But yeah, it was too much.
It depends on the circumstance. So I'd go maybe like my normal would be like a Kendrick Lamar maybe, but a swimming pools, something along those lines. But if he's already on the tee, like let's say I'm versing George, he's already on the tee, it's my walkout song, and then we're straight into hitting, I reckon I'd go like a High School Musical or something to really put him off. Like a We're Breaking Free sort of operation.
Yeah.
A little bit of Gabriella.
I've heard a lot of High School Musical. There's some good bloody uplifting stuff.
Don't mind a good sing-along, but I reckon it'd get the giggles in him.
Yeah.
And then like as soon as we're like hitting him, like, and then it's just like, you have him, mate. Like he's already in fits now, so you just get him.
What would yours be?
Seven Nation Army.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, nice.
great
Good
tune.
bit of,
Yeah,
great
a bit
beat.
of Bon Jovi or something.
Mine would be Rage Against the Machine, but it would be really embarrassing when I then swung at 114. You need fucking Miley Cyrus, man. Change your song. So yeah,
The Climb or something. Miley Cyrus.
yeah,
Wrecking Ball maybe.
Wrecking Ball.
When I played speed golf, I let Sam Kendall pick my walkout song because you get a walkout song, and he picked Wrecking Ball.
He's a big fan though.
Yes.
So that's also, you can't be a speed golfer and be a Chonk brother at the same time.
Well, actually, one of the questions was, I actually think long drivers would be outstanding speed golfers because
Excuse me.
because
I think he's going to hit
you
you.
need to have, you could probably get around with 2 clubs.
One of us could.
I'd pull a hammy.
You wouldn't need to run as fast, I don't think,
Really?
because you'd save time because you'd have less clubs. I
I'd,
think you'd hit it so far, it'd be a massive advantage. If long driver got into speed golf,
Oh,
game
Sammy
changer.
Jones.
Game changer.
Yes,
There you
yeah,
go.
correct. Like
Chris is not happy with this.
from a like length and club perspective, like I would agree. But if you see the Chonk Brothers social, we only play 3-hole matches, and that's purely from like a fatigue chafing prevention. Like the idea of running 18,
So a lady asked us today, she's like, are you guys playing in the event tomorrow? And we both looked at each other and laughed. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I was like, there's not enough chafing cream around for us to play 2 days in a row, let alone 4.
Yeah,
So
that was
Yeah.
my next speed fire question.
Was it?
Yeah,
About
speed
chafing?
golf, about the chafing.
Um,
Not the speed golf.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
So we only play 3 holes at a time,
Or 2 rounds a year.
Yeah, well,
but that's in a cart.
all the 3 holes or the 2 rounds?
Both.
Yeah, it's great.
If you could design a golf hole, what would it look like?
Drivable par 4.
Hold on, for who?
5 different tees. So
Okay.
you would have like. I was really lucky to play at Targa Golf Club, Balmacune in Dunedin, and the thing I really enjoyed about it is there's 4 or 5 par 4s that you can drive. They would shift the tees around a lot, so there was never like a standard yellow tee or anything. It was like, right, everyone is playing off the 4 tee today, and yeah, it might be 230, but it's 230 for everybody, and you've just got to have the skill set to find a club that's going to make that hole work. And I really enjoyed having that variety where it's like, hey, we're going to let you have a bit of a crack here, and then you're going to come for tomorrow, and we're going to shift your way back. And I love that concept. Like, encouraging people to have a go, I think, is that risk and reward component of golf I love.
Mine's less political. I want a hole with no trees and 2 fairways on my right and my left, and I can just go like 16 here is perfect.
Get rid of the
Although
trees.
OB is,
I have hit it OB.
so have I. But he was talking
And
about it.
17. And 15.
The question is, have you hit it OB off 13 right at Tonga Golf Club?
No, but probably only because I'm not strong enough.
I have witnessed it here. I'm not going to say.
And
Not him.
George.
Not him.
Who else could hit it that far?
There was someone. No, I'm not going to say.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was. I correct me if I'm wrong, Blompy, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure Sean Blomqvist, I might have seen him hit an OB off 13 right.
Wow.
If
a long
not,
way.
it was definitely in the bushes over there. But we can fact check that one later. But I've seen a couple wide ones from him. 10 at St Andrews. He's hit it basically on the putting green.
Yeah, it was
practice
It
putting
was
green,
just
yeah.
in front of the. It was
Cart shed?
it was
Yeah,
in front of
yeah.
the cart shed, yeah, which is an interesting second shot into that par 5.
I reckon it's further than 170 today.
Yeah, I agree.
I flushed it. Hit it good.
So we're thinking that we'll have a ForeRight national long drive competition and set one up. If you could invite one sporting celebrity from New Zealand to partner up with you for a teams event, you and your celeb and you and your celeb.
We're playing 18 holes, or they have to hit a ball?
No, just long drive.
Just long drive.
Combined long drive.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And you get to train them.
Okay.
Okay.
So who's your athlete?
Right. So I'm going to go first here. This is actually kind of hard. It is
On
hard.
the spot too.
Well, I'm going to name 2.
Oh, no, you can't name 2.
I can't name 2.
Because I want you to name 1 each, and then we'll go, now give us your 3, because I want to see where you're thinking.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Damien McKenzie, and the reason I pick him, pound for pound, quite fast, can hit a golf ball.
Rapid.
Yeah. He can move as a human on the rugby field. Can also swing a golf club. I've seen him hit some good flights, and I'd like to have that beside me.
I'm going to go someone that works here. So I've been told today.
I still
Colin
like
de
it.
Gronholm.
Oh, yes.
He'd be my guy.
Dutchies. He swings a pure, hits it long.
Yeah.
What about Geordie Barrett?
Yeah, I haven't
Good.
seen Geordie Barrett in real life, but the one I was really tossing up is Tori Peters, the javelin thrower. She can hit a golf ball.
Really?
Yeah, she can smash a golf ball. She's done a few pro-am days, and yeah, the guys that get paired with it love her because she just tees up and rips it, and it's so good. Yeah, and she's got fantastic arms, just glorious. She won't mind me saying that.
Yeah, Rachel might, but...
And I'll go with my sister, Sam.
Oh, yes.
I reckon she's had a couple out past 250 in some family golf days. Yeah. Something about the hockey, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously that rotational piece, but yeah, I'd probably take Sam as well.
Interesting on D-Mac, I think. I'm a big fan of D-Mac.
I think he's
and
just
I'm
a
gutted that
fanboy,
he's
to be
getting
fair.
a bit of grief at the moment in the press. I think he's
Yeah,
playing outstanding. But anyway, yeah.
he can hit a golf ball.
Yeah.
He can hit a golf ball.
Not as far as Colin de Grant.
No, have you seen him hit it?
No, I haven't.
It's nice.
I can imagine it's good. Or I'd probably maybe like a Jimmy
Jimmy Neesham.
Neesham. I reckon he'd be good too. 100%. Maybe Michael Bracewell.
Can hit it. Gaptel hits it long too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would with some of this.
I heard Finn Allen hits it. We did a pro-am and sponsor day up in Auckland last year, and Finn Allen was in one of the groups. I think he was hitting a big ball as well. I think it's something with the cricketers.
Yeah.
They love it too.
Yeah. Who would you? Gaptel.
Yeah.
Alex?
Yep. No.
Sorry, Alex.
No.
Try not to partner with Alex with anything.
No.
Jay?
Who?
No, I think Geordie Barrett.
Okay.
I reckon because he's fucking big rig.
Yeah, he is. He's
Seen
sneaky
his
tall.
And he's
Instagram.
fast.
Yeah. He is sneaky tall.
Rico, I don't know if he plays golf, but Rico, I just think of a big fucking levers, which
Well,
is
little shout out. Ryan Coxon came and did one of the Tasman Marco players who we grew up with when he was playing. He came and did a long drive comp up in Auckland, North Island Champs last year, and he did pretty phenomenal. I think he hit about 350 odd metres. Had a really good ball. So
That's a guy that gets his spine crushed in a scrum every day, and he comes out and hits a 350. It's actually quite impressive.
So you reckon D-Mac will hit it further than him?
I just like D-Mac's flight. I just feel like with long drive being so condition variable, like
You used to say to me, mass moves mass.
mass does move mass.
he tries to tell me that most days.
We're probably going to
When
be
I
at
can't.
the moment.
He tries to make me feel better about my weight.
Yeah. Mass does move mass. But
Yeah.
On that, should we ask for some PBs in the gym?
Mm. You're running hot at the moment, so you should go first.
What do you want?
What are the key ones? Bench press, squat, deadlift.
What are the main ones we do? So, bench press,
Yep.
153.
Is it a 1 RM?
Yeah, 1 RM, 153 the other day. What else do we do?
Weighted pull up.
Weighted pull-ups, which is a combination of both body weight and what you're lifting, which for me is obviously a lot of weight. 140 kgs, so I was doing
That way.
Overhand.
so
Ooh.
the 36 maybe at 104 possibly.
36 what?
36 kgs
Right.
attached at 104 kgs body weight, so it's about 140, and then
Is that one
Just
one
one
rep,
rep,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then power cleans are our other main one. I think PB around 126 possibly.
And that's from ground?
That's from
Overhead.
ground. Power clean, so you have to catch it, but can't jump into like a squat clean, so hip has to stay above knee at all times. Yeah.
What about you, Jorge?
My bench PB is 160. My pull up is body weight plus 50 kilos, and my power clean is 132. So we're both very close, which makes training together super fun. But the one thing that we push, and in terms of programming for golfers, I think is important, is because the golf club's not getting any heavier, like we talked about before, how you move your body or light objects is quite fast. So we put a premium on jumping, throwing medicine balls in a variety of different ways. Like those are metrics that we find important. And if your power clean can get better and that helps your jump get better, then you've had successful programming. If your power clean gets better and your jump doesn't improve, then it's like, what is the transfer here? What am I actually getting out of all this hard work? So that's kind of the questions we ask ourselves when we write programs.
Love it.
Might also be an IQ requirement to in Chonk Brothers too.
Yeah,
sounds
sounds like
of
it.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're fucked.
Oh,
I've got
put
close-
him in that boat.
I've got he's thick ass. I've got close to 100 kgs a couple of times. That's probably the only chance I'm going to give
On the weight,
on the weight.
bench press too. What are you throwing out? Give me some.
Nah, I'm weak ass. Do you know
Give
what I
me
learned
something.
the other day?
Yeah.
So training with Hendo, which I'm fucking loving, but I used to just jump under the bench press and just go. And Hendo's like, no, you need to tuck your feet under, lift your pelvis up, try and push your heels to the ground, but they shouldn't be able to hit the ground, and all of it, and then shoulders back and down. all of a sudden I was like, this is a bit fucked. But man, it made a massive difference because I always used to get a pain in my shoulder and I couldn't go down very low. People go, oh, you need to touch your chest. I'll go, oh, fuck, I can't, man, my shoulder's going to kill. But now,
No problem.
touch my chest just from a change of technique. So that's been good. But like we'll do things like 5 sets of 5 on the minute at the gym. And I'm probably about 80 kgs.
Oh, you'd press 100 easy.
Define easy.
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah.
When I was 16, we were on a rugby trip, and I was the smallest dude in our first 15. And somehow I managed to bench press 77. It was the lightest in our whole rugby team, and I think I only got it because I was so embarrassed. I was shaking the whole time, and I don't think I've lifted more since.
My question is, what did you weigh though?
I was 68 kilos.
Yeah, there you go. So it's over body weight at 16 years old. That's very impressive.
But I don't think I've lifted more than 77.
Yeah.
since.
Yeah. But we'll ignore that fact. But at the time, that is
Yeah,
impressive.
I did win the
work on
pull-ups though.
Nice.
Being the lightest dude in the team helped.
Yeah, pull-ups are shit, eh?
I hate them.
it. I love them.
Do you?
Hate them.
Yeah,
They're sick.
I love
They're sick,
pull-ups. Yeah.
Kitty at the moment, she's had a couple of goals. This is probably not relevant for our podcast, so you can cut this, but she wanted to double her body weight in deadlift, which she did. And now she wants to learn how to do a muscle up. But the interesting thing with the deadlift was you get 2 kgs stronger each week, so you can see the growth. But the muscle up, you fucking can either do it or you can't. And so, man, it's hard, it's hard work. But she'll go and do pull-ups and all sorts of training bits.
You done one?
Has she?
No, have you
Muscle up?
tried them?
No, fuck no, I can't do a pull-up.
Muscle up's such a technical thing.
Yeah.
It requires your body to be in this like perfect space in order to work around the bar a little bit. The thing I've really enjoyed at HP at the moment is we've had some of the speed clubbers at the Olympics have been training at HP for the last 12 months. They come over the test in Cambridge. And those guys, like, when you watch them on TV, they look like they're running up a wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what's going on here? When you see them in the gym, like, some of those guys are doing 25 consecutive muscle ups. And it's like, not a problem. Just...
I've been lucky enough, I've been at the Athlete Factory for a couple of years where they train. They've got the indoor gym in there. Sorry. And I literally just go and sit on the bike for an hour and a half and watch them climb the wall and things like that. And Julian David just does muscle ups like he's holding a bar, standing up, and he's just kind of doing this to the bar. Just get, like, just warm ups, and they just go.
It was
amazing.
phenomenal at the Olympics,
But
like
his-
that world record.
And he box jumps, like, he'd jump up on that table and he just lands so softly. Go, like, what? But it's so
They'd
impressive.
be good at long drive.
They would be. They are very, very...
Maths,
Because
because
the
maths, remember?
Yeah. But you think the cross patterning that they would be doing would be pretty cool.
they would be really good.
Well, we should probably wrap it up and let these
Yeah,
two
right.
go home because they probably need to eat. They
Oh.
did just have their first dinner downstairs.
I do have 2 dinners up. It does happen.
Cool. I think, yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us.
No, thank you very much. It was a pleasure, fellas.
Thank you. And
Nice.
people can just connect via Instagram to grab programs off you and
Yeah,
get their stuff.
yeah.
sorted.
Reach out. We're
And some shirts.
and the shirts. Thanks to Easy Bogey. They're been a great supporter of the Chonks, and they came up with this fantastic design, which we really love.
Yeah.
The little
donuts on the collar. If you can't see.
nice little touch there. But yeah, just I think the cool thing about long drive and increasing speed is like it doesn't necessarily have to cost money. Like as long as you've got something to measure your intent, which is either club head speed or ball speed, then as long as you've got that and you've got the desire to try and hit between 6 and 20 hard in a session, and you do that multiple times, that'll make you better. And that's a great place to start.
Perfect.
Thanks very much. It was awesome
Yeah.
to see you at playing today.
Yeah.
114.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still in
fast.
shock.
Yeah, a little bit the same. A little
Yeah.
bit the same.
Do you reckon that TrackMan was juiced?
If it was, because Zuma was still only 111. So,
And Chizzy 164.
And-
So
yeah.
if Chizzy is watching, come
yeah,
on, mate.
Chizzy's definitely watching. And if he's not, I'm sending it to him. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, lads.
Thanks, fellas.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.